everyone. It's Liz Emis here at First United Methodist Church. I am the Minister of Education, and truth be told, I am recording this a little early. This is a video that's going to run several days after I record it. So we're going to talk about a sermon topic that I know is coming up, but being honest, I don't know what the sermon's going to talk about just yet. So I don't know if this video is going to be kind of along the same lines as the sermon or not. What I do know is we are going to talk about Noah and the covenant that God makes with Noah. This is a pretty famous or popular story. It comes from Genesis 9, and I am going to read this to you. Here we are. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, "As for me, I am establishing my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the domestic animals, and every animal of the earth with you, as many as came out of the ark. I establish my covenant with you, that never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of a flood. And never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. This is the sign of the covenant that I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all future generations. I have set my bows in the clouds, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth and the bow is seen in the clouds, I will remember my covenant that is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth." God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant that I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth." Let the church say amen. This is such a popular scriptural verse that we almost find only one interpretation of this story. It is used so very often in children's stories. I disagree vehemently with the story of the flood being included in Sunday schools with children, because the entire story is actually not entirely about a beautiful ark floating through the water with a rainbow in the sky. It includes a lot of pain that God decides needs to occur. It also includes God changing God's mind, which I greatly appreciate, because just as I can change and my relationship with God can change, God and God's relationship with me can shift. I find that to be a blessing. That's what mutual relationship, the back and forth, looks like. But I want to talk about something that not everybody may pick up on in this story, and it took me several readings to notice. I'm scrolling down here. We are living in a time where very few people feel safe and secure. I do not feel safe and secure. Right now, the place where I feel the most safe, fully safe, is in my home with my family. But really anywhere else, I do not feel safe. I do not feel safe because in many ways that many don't know, I am part of marginalized groups of people. I'm imagining that many people are part of marginalized groups and they don't necessarily look that way or talk that way because we all have preconceived notions as to what that way looks like. In times of fear, doing the righteous thing becomes very difficult because odds are to do the right thing or to not do the unrighteous thing can get you harmed. There are many scholars that say Noah's story is one of those times. And if you notice, in the entirety of this, both what I said and what comes before, when God speaks to Noah, Noah does not respond to God. And many scholars suggest that this does not mean that Noah was the best person. It means God decided Noah was the best person God could find. i.e., Noah is not really in relationship with God, though God seeks to be in relationship with Noah. There is no conversation happening. There is monologue, but no dialogue. To engage in dialogue is to risk. Noah did risk by building the ark in the story and listening to God. There's no doubt about that. The risk was in this story and Noah embraced it. But Noah also kept a bit of a distance by not conversing with God. Distance sometimes gives us this perceived safety. We will help, but from a distance. We will write a check. We will send a card. We'll send an email. We'll post on Facebook, my prayers to you. But is that enough? And is that where real transformation comes from? God came to Noah. God spoke to Noah. God chose to engage. Knowing it was possible, Noah wasn't going to go for it, but God risked it. Why don't we risk more? In the passage I read to you, God makes a covenant and repeats that God has made that covenant multiple times, which theologians suggest that in doing that, the writer is saying, this is important. So if God is willing to make these covenants, enter into relationship with us, even when we are not perfect, can we not take the risk of responding and conversing and dialoguing back? It was a fearful time for Noah. He watched everything he knew die, dissipate, end. That's why this story isn't for children, in my opinion. But maybe, just maybe, Noah realized afterward that entering into relationship is not only possible, but profound. God is already in relationship with us and already desires that. Are we willing to go from monologue to dialogue amid fear, when dialogue is oh so very necessary? Think about it, and amen.